Hey guys, Angel came to me last night and I believe that he wants me to tell you this. He explained some things to me that I didn't fully understand before, and that is that the civilization that we've been living in is a prison. The people that have been acting as the prison guards and the masters, they purposely have enslaved us. It's not an accident. That's what he showed to me. He wanted me to understand the reason that they are destroying this civilization that these evil networks have built. And I believe he wanted me to tell you that there is absolutely nothing for you to fear, and that we should not be sad, but that we should be happy that our enslavement is done, that we are going to be free. I'm sorry, I can't smile. I can't. I'm sorry. But he said we should be happy, so I wanted to tell you. And I believe him. I believe everything that he says, and I feel it in my heart. I just can't physically make myself smile. I was also shown that every single human soul on the planet has either received the seal of the angels or the mark of the beasts / animals. The way it works is that human souls exist within a frequency range in between the animals or the beasts and the angels. The human souls that are younger or in the lower frequency range are closer to the animals in the way they think, and they do not have compassion or the other higher attributes. They function in a mentality that they believe that brutality is the strongest and greatest force. And the higher human souls that are older have attributes of compassion and those things that put them closer to the angels. So I was told that every single human soul on this planet has been marked, and those who are with the animals, with the beasts, will go with Set, who will take those souls into the underworld to be slaves of Set in the underworld, which is what they should have to do, because they've enslaved us for all these years. It's only fair that they should be administered justice with the brutality that they inflicted upon so many others. And it's also only fair that those of us that have had compassion and love for others would be treated with the same. So, when the waters come, when the meteors come, when the heat comes, you won't be harmed. No one will be harmed. All those who have been sealed in their foreheads will rise. You will rise up, and you will be with the angels, and you will not feel any pain or suffering. And there's billions of us. So don't be afraid. There's nothing to fear, I promise you. I'm sorry I can't be more dramatically happy, but I don't really feel. Anyway. So the best thing that you can do is follow your heart, pray, stay in contact with the spiritual world, with the angels, with whoever guides you and protects you. stay in contact with them now, and they are going to be there for you when this happens, and you will not feel any pain or suffering. And all those stories in the movies about people being microchipped, and well, yeah, that was the plan that the humans had for us, but it's not going to play out. And all of those images that you've seen in the movies of people suffering, and it's not going to happen. It's going to end like the blink of an eye. 1 minute you'll be here, and the next minute you'll be in the heavens. So please, don't be afraid. And if you have been called to physically survive this event, then you know that in your heart. And I'm one of those people. I believe I was given specific instructions about where I should go. If you're interested in coming with me, then please let me know. As I said before, we can take a camping trip at the beginning of March. Otherwise, I would recommend, if you don't have a lot of money, I would recommend that you get some thermal tarps. Take them with you along with minimal supplies, but at least some rice and some beans. Whatever you want to take, some non-perishable foods. And I would suggest that you, if you can, go up into the mountains, go to a cave if you have nowhere else to go. And if you're in a structure of some kind, I recommend that you go down into the basement. Another man who says he has access to classified information has told me that everyone should cover their shelters with at least 2 feet of dirt or rock, because there will be radiation. As I said before, praying is the absolute #1 thing that each of us must do in order to survive. And then any other actions that you take will be secondary to that, because the angels have the ability to protect you wherever you are, no matter what, if that is their will. One other thing, I did have a vision. The angel did show me another vision of the Pacific Plate. He showed me every single volcano going off. I'll tell you, the angel took me to the west side of the United States, and there was a white horse, and he laid his hand on the white horse, and the white horse ran to the northern part of the Pacific Plate in Alaska, and the horse started scratching its hoof on the ground, and its nostrils started to flare like it was angry and ready to charge, and then the horse turned red, and then the red horse turned into a red bull, and the bull was getting angrier and angrier, and his nostrils were flaring, and smoke started coming out of his nostrils, and then the red bull turned into a dragon, and when it was time, the dragon charged from Alaska and followed the Rocky Mountains all the way down to the Gulf of California. And along the dragon's path, every single volcano erupted, and the dragon went all the way down into the ocean around the Pacific Plate, and every single volcano along the way was erupting in the ocean, and there were tsunamis in Indonesia. And then the dragon went up through Japan, and Japan had massive earthquakes. And he showed me that Yellowstone erupted underground. And he showed me that there were great caverns under the ground that Yellowstone had created at its last eruption. And that the government has made use of these ancient caverns and have hollowed many of them out and built luxurious underground cities for themselves under the Rocky Mountains. I saw that these underground cities that the government has built for themselves will be collapsed, that Yellowstone will erupt, and fire will shoot through these caverns, fire and lava, and completely destroy those underground cities that are built just like a bird building a nest in a chimney, only worse. Anyway, I was shown that the Rocky Mountains will collapse into that hollow structure underneath from Denver to Los Angeles. And when that happens, no harm will come to any good person. No harm. You will only be lifted up in your spirit. That's all. You'll just shed your body and you'll shed your material life here. That's all. But that I Am America map is correct. I thought it was bull the first time I looked at it, but now I realize, now I understand why it looks the way it does on the West Coast. So we should all be happy that our enslavement is done. It's done.